Welcome everybody to this gathering called Inner Richness. What is inner richness and how can we access it? And how can we access it on a daily basis, not just every Christmas or every birthday, but not just in special magical moments like a beautiful sunset on a island by the sea, or a beautiful sexual experience, or the best chocolate in Europe, or whatever. This experience of inner richness can be activated by something external. It's like something like yesterday I was in a garden with these most amazing flowers. And I was walking around looking at these flowers. I knew these flowers from 2 weeks ago. And then when I came back, they had like just exploded. It was like the whole garden had exploded in 2 weeks. And I was walking around and looking at these amazing flowers at their peak. And I was taking pictures, and the sun was shining and everything was green and pink and red and yellow. And it was just like, wow. And I'm sure you know this experience, that something beauty, some beauty in the external world wakes up this inner experience of pure enjoyment. How many know what I'm talking about? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So there's something about beauty. The beauty of nature is easy, but also the beauty of a baby or a puppy, beauty of a scenery, beauty of a piece of music, that can wake up this inner sense of satisfaction, contentment. Life is good in this moment, and I'm not looking for something else. And I'm not self-conscious. I'm not like occupied by my own small self. Am I good enough? How am I doing in the world? How are my relationships? How is my bank account? Am I healthy? How do I look? Am I getting fat? Oh my God, my hair is going gray. And so on. In this moment of contentment, there is no mental activity like that. We're not self-conscious in this way. We're just in meditation, as in pure enjoyment of the moment with no self-reflective activity. So we can call this presence. And this presence has a fullness of experience. It's a richness. It has many, just like flowers come in all these shapes and forms and colors. So the inner richness comes in all these shapes and forms, and sometimes it's empty, sometimes it's deep black, sometimes it's bubbly yellow, sometimes it's just a sense of sweet love. Sometimes it's just empty, nothing there, just an infinite peace. And these kinds of experiences is actually what we're living for. This is what we're seeking when we're not in it, then we're looking for it. So, following the teaching of A.H. Almaas, I call this essence, essential experience. It's a dimension of experience deeper than feeling. And it's a dimension of experience we can actually name, we can talk about it, we can describe it. It's available through language. It's not unnameable. In spiritual traditions, the highest wisdom is the unnameable. That's why the first sentence of the Tao Te Ching is, the Tao that can be named is not the true Tao. The God that can be named is not the true God. Or the wisdom that can be named is not the deepest wisdom. So that's a teaching in most spiritual traditions. Some traditions, you're not even supposed to write the word God. For that reason. Or make images of God. But this dimension I'm talking about is actually nameable. And I find that most people haven't actually been properly educated about the language for this dimension. Everybody has experience of this dimension, but very few people have been educated to describe it. And when we don't have a language for something, we tend to lose the access to it. So that's the topic of today. And I'm not gonna sit here and talk all the time. You can relax. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have dialogues with you. That's the idea. And basically, in this kind of dialogue, which I call Zen coaching, it's basically a heart-to-heart dialogue where the focus is on connecting with ourselves. My role is to be listening and curious, and your role is to see what happens and see where it takes us. It's not a goal-oriented activity. And this is one of the most difficult things for us humans, not to be goal-oriented. If there's a diamond inside, how do I go get it? What's the path to go, to walk? If there's a diamond out there, how do I go find it? You know, we want to have the path described, and then we want to walk it, and then we want to achieve the goal. This attitude is actually the opposite of meditation. Meditation means no goal. It's the most simple thing, and it's the most challenging thing. To have no goal, nothing can be simpler than that. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. How can anything be more simple than that? Just be where you are. That's meditation, with no goal, no technique, no nothing. It is the simplest thing of all. And it is the most difficult thing of all because we are thoroughly goal-oriented. Our mind is essentially goal-oriented. Now, the good news is that the goal-oriented mind can be included in the non-goal-oriented heart. So let your goal-oriented mind rest in the lap of your heart. Feel that sentence for a moment. Let your goal-oriented mind rest in the lap of your heart. this restless monkey mind, embrace it with your heart without trying to fix it or change it in any way. This is meditation. Meditation doesn't try to change the mind, doesn't try to get rid of the mind, the thinking mind, doesn't judge the thinking mind, doesn't see anything wrong with the thinking mind. It simply allows it to be there, but from an aware, witnessing space. It is as simple as that. And notice what happens as you do that, which is a non-doing. And notice what happens with the feeling of the space of this meeting. And your feeling of connection if you click the gallery view and you see everybody. And just feel the space of us together as beings in this moment. And if there is still this restlessness inside, repeat. Just take the restlessness and let it rest. Let the restlessness rest in the lap of your heart. Don't fight your restlessness. That's like pouring gasoline on the fire. Love your mind. Love your restless monkey mind. And how to love something? Embracing it and letting it be as it is. And how can we do such a thing? Because we are that love. We are that holding. Our nature is this capacity to embrace and hold and include. This is our nature. This is not something we have to learn. We are already that holding space for every experience. So there is no path to that place. It's more like remember. If you're willing to write one word on the chat, how are you now? Where are you in yourself now? Then we can get a sense where you are. Contempt, touched, at ease, perfect, compassion, acceptance, stressed, unsettled, at peace, witnessing, silent, content. Somebody wrote contempt. I'm not sure if it's contempt or content. Silent, peaceful, calm, spacious, content, moved, relaxed, calm, open, cozy, ease, relaxed, tired, open, as it is. I am here, relaxed, vulnerability, strength. Tired, vulnerable, at home, distracted, peaceful, impatient. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Allowing. So one thing we do in a Zen coaching space is we slow down. Another pattern of the mind is speed. The mind doesn't like things to go slow. It wants things to go fast. And I want to learn quickly. I'm here to learn something. We're not doing anything. Come on, I set aside 3 hours for this to learn something and nothing's happening really. I'm impatient. That's the mind. The space I'm inviting is something different than that. I'm inviting your heart here, which isn't going anywhere. The heart loves to just be. Impatience is of the mind. Restlessness is of the mind. And I'm not judging the mind. I'm just describing the difference. It's fine to be restless. It's fine to be going fast. It's fine to use our thinking mind. It's fine to learn knowledge. I spent 18 years in school, 6 years in university, studying 1,000 books and learning a million things. But what I've learned the last 20 years is that all this knowledge is not going to make me happy unless I learn to rest as the moment. And actually empty my mind, just be an empty cup, as they say in Zen. If you want to learn something new, first empty your cup. Be an empty cup. Can you allow yourself to be an empty cup and wait for something new to arrive? Okay, let's do the coaching, the dialogue. I don't know if anybody has requested. So what I do is I can explore any topic. It can be a problem. Actually, it's good if it's a problem. Because problems are not problems. Problems are doors. Problems are doors to inner richness. So what's good is that the problem is specific and concrete. Not like, I feel a bit unhappy in my life. That's a bit vague. I'm unhappy about this and this because of that and that. That's easier to work with. It doesn't have to be a problem. It can also just be exploring the moment, just as it is. So what I do is I help you explore the moment, no matter where you find yourself. And then we see where it goes. It can be a short dialogue, 5 minutes, or it can be a long dialogue, 30 minutes. I don't know. We will see. Sometimes the solution to a problem is to discover that it isn't a problem. Then it's finished in 1 minute. We think something is a problem, which is actually not a problem. So please send a message to Hanna if you would like to receive or take part in this exchange. And I would please tell Hanne if you are new to Zen coaching or not. If you have requested some dialogue, please let Hanne know if you are new to Zen coaching or not. And also name what you would like to explore if you have a specific issue, or if you don't have a specific issue and you just like to explore the moment. So that's helpful. And in the meantime, I will connect with who is here. I see many friends from different places. We are now 69 people here. Okay, so Linnea, you're new to Zen coaching and you would like to explore something around finding customers in your business.
Yes.
So where are you now?
I'm way. Can you see
There
me?
you are. There you are. Okay, so where are you sitting?
In Sweden.
Okay.
Dalarna.
In where?
Dalarna.
Dalarna. All right. What kind of business are you in?
Coaching.
Oh, good business.
Yes, it is. Regular coaching.
Okay.
I've tried Zen coaching before. And I've done it for a while, and I find myself being very passive at times when it comes to being in touch with people and selling and so on. And then I get really frustrated and annoyed, and then I take action, and then a little bit happens, and then I fall back into the self-sabotaging pattern of not doing anything.
Is this your main job, or
Yes.
how long have you had that as your main job?
A little over a year, but I've been on parental leave as well. And I will go into unemployment in August for coaching executives. But I have a plan on getting back to being on my own again after a while.
So you like being on your own also?
Yes.
What do you like about being on your own?
I don't like when people tell me what to do.
Okay.
I want my freedom. I want to set my own hours. I don't want to commute.
Right. So you have, okay. Right. So I'm first curious, what is it you enjoy about offering coaching to people?
It's rewarding. It doesn't feel like a job. It's fun for both me and the client when it's the right client. I feel like I'm using my gifts and talents and being of service.
So you feel like you're using your gifts and talents, you're being of service, and you feel you benefit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In which way do you benefit, do you feel?
Well, it's like a shared feeling of joy and progress.
And what is fun about that? I mean, what is it that gives the joy? What's joyful? And what kind of progress?
Guess when I see a client getting insights and telling me how I help them, that my questions and what I modeled for them really helps them.
Yeah, so it's the joy of contribution, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so feel that for a moment, the joy of contribution. I see a smile.
Mm-hmm.
How does that
Good.
feel in your body?
It feels really good. I feel a warm sensation in my chest and upper belly.
Okay, so give some time for that. Warm sensation in your chest and upper belly. Just spend some time with that sensation. Does that sensation have a color?
Many. It's very colorful. It's like fireworks.
Okay, which colors do you notice?
Yellow, pink, golden, silver,
Yellow, pink,
green.
golden, silver, green. Okay, so give that some time. Just hang out with that fireworks of colors and warmth, joy of contribution, living your gifts and talents. How is it to hang out there?
It's really good, but I feel some constriction in my throat. It's like it wants to be even bigger, but there's something stopping it.
Well, instead of saying but, how about saying and?
Okay,
And
it feels really good. The sensations are growing, and there's something stopping it in my throat.
and then try saying, and that's interesting.
And that's very interesting.
It's even very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You see how big a difference it is if we say but or and.
Yes.
And there's an interesting contraction in my throat. I wonder what that is. So notice what happens in your throat when you take this attitude.
It becomes less constricted.
Exactly. Just hang out there with that sensation in the throat with some curiosity and acceptance.
That's dissolving now. I feel like I can take in a lot of air.
Right. It's dissolving and it gets easier to breathe and take in more air. And what does air represent? Energy and life.
Mm.
And I see a smile
Yes, I feel good.
and a softness, and I see warmth.
It's really good to stay here and close my eyes.
Yeah. And are you coaching anybody right now?
Yes, I have a few clients.
No, in this very moment,
I
in this second.
guess I'm coaching myself in a way.
Yeah, you could say. but you're not coaching anybody else. You're just being with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, you're having this experience without being in contribution to anybody specifically, like as a goal. You're just hanging out with yourself and having this experience. I'm just reminding you of the fact.
Thank you. It's a good reminder.
So the point is, the source of these feelings is not contributing to others. They are in you already. This is your essence, warm, expansive, alive, fireworks of colors. Just enjoy your own being for a moment without doing anything or having to contribute to anybody. How is that?
It's awesome. I feel like dancing.
Yes, it's awesome. You feel like dancing. So dancing is like celebration, huh?
Mm-hmm.
See. It's beautiful to enjoy contributing to people, but it's also easy to make that like a strategy to get to these feelings, just like I talked about chocolate and sunsets and flower. We think these feelings come from the activity. That's how the mind works. But it's not true, actually. You are those things, and you can bring those. You can be a coach because you have access to those qualities within, and you bring those qualities into the session. It's not that the session gives you these qualities.
I think I need to re-listen to this a few times.
Yeah. That's the way I see it. It takes a lifetime to really understand this. It's simple and not simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's a revolution in a way of living. Actually, it is shifting our identity from the mind to the being. As long as we have our identity in the thinking mind, this doesn't make sense. For the thinking mind, it's always goal-oriented and believes it needs to get things constantly. It's a transactional, goal-oriented way of living. But the heart is simply celebrating the moment. And the more we can, and the more we can experience that, the more powerful we are as a coach. Because you're not goal-oriented, you're just being with your client and they can feel it and then they relax and they will also want to have coaching with you because they feel that energy. Not so much that you have to run around and sell yourself. You just tell people you're available because you enjoy it and they come. Of course, you have to tell people you're available, but you don't have to think of it as selling.
Mm.
It's more like you make yourself available because this is something you love. Just like I'm doing now, I do this because I love this too, just like you. How do you feel now?
I could still dance. I feel good.
Inner richness.
Yes.
And how is the sense of connection when you are in this inner richness? This is the first time we meet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good.
How's the sense of contact with me in this moment?
Easy, effortless.
Easy and effortless. Yeah. Because in this energy, we don't need to know each other, our histories, just a being meeting a being.
Mm.
Because we're all human beings, right? We're pretty much the same. Same flowers, different, a little bit different, but same, but different, you know. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
Thank you. So I invite everybody just to sense yourself. When one person is engaging in this kind of dialogue, everybody can take part. Maybe you can experience the same journey inside yourself. So Linnea, would you like to hear a little bit how it was for the others to witness this? Yes. So you can just unmute yourself and share a sentence or two. How was it to just watch this dialogue, this exchange? Give a little feedback.
Hi, my name is Kåre. Thanks, Linnea. It was really inspiring and invigorating, actually, to witness your process and to go through it as well. Thanks for stepping up and volunteering.
Thank you so much. I see the comments too. Thank you. I'm receiving.
I thought it was very beautiful to watch the process and actually seeing how your face and like your body expressions relaxed when you landed more in your body. And also for me to be present within myself while you were sharing. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
I can also share.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I had the same question, so it's really interesting how this common field is working. So you did the work for me. Thank you, Linnea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kåre.
Okay, so I see a lot of comments on the chat as well. Wow, I feel so much gratitude, insightful, thank you, beautiful. Thank you for your openness, willingness to show yourself, beautiful and easy, very touching. I can relate to it, beautiful flow of coaching. It was so calming for me, calming. Love to yourself. Thank you for that. Linnea, I could relate to you and I benefited from your process. Thank you, beautiful, so personally relevant. Beautiful shift to witness. Thank you, Linnea. Wonderful to see. Thank you. Good. So as we can see, it's not a complicated process we're talking about here. It's meeting the moment with curiosity. And there was a shift when you said, I feel great, but. So this is interesting for all of us. You know, if you find yourself saying, I feel great, but, it's a sign you are rejecting something. And if you reject something, it means you're fighting with something. And what you're fighting with is yourself. And if you fight with yourself, you're going to have contractions. You're going to have one part fighting with another part. So that's called war. You're going to have an inner war. And as we know, to fight wars for peace generally just leads to more war. This we do politically, we do the same thing. We're fighting for peace. We're going to bomb you until there's peace on the planet, you know. Bombs generally don't provide peace. And if they do, it's very temporary, because well, you bombed me last year or last century, so I'm gonna bomb you this century. Now I have the bombs. And we keep going back and forth, bombing, killing. This happens in our own mind. We're trying to get rid of the bad guys inside. The bad guys are emotions we don't want. We think of them as some kind of terrorists, war on terror. But it doesn't work like that. So this shift from but to and there's an very interesting contraction in my throat. If we can make that shift, everything changes. Interesting. If you have a difficult emotion, try this trick. Say to yourself, interesting. Interesting. I'm so angry and triggered by this person in front of me. Interesting. See, this word can cut this but energy, this fighting energy, and introduce like interesting. The moment you can say interesting to difficult emotions, everything changes. Because it is the heart. Now, when I say interesting, I mean interesting from the heart. It's like the heart is interested. Uh-oh, that's not good. Okay. So the slogan I use is, life is either good or interesting, or both. Life is either good or interesting, or both. Now, of course, we can get caught in our suffering, our pain, guilt, shame, anger, hate, jealousy, envy, loneliness, helplessness, powerlessness, separation, anxiety, depression. We can get caught. Fear. Hopelessness. Despair. But there's always a way out. Let's see. We have some more. Pinksterblom. Shall we have a conversation?
Yeah, it's Erik. It's my real name.
Erik.
Yeah.
Hi, Erik.
Oh.
Swedish also.
Okay. No, I'm from Belgium originally.
Okay. You're sitting in Belgium now?
Yeah, during Corona.
All right.
I moved back.
So what's the... You wrote on the chat, fear of losing self-connection.
Yeah. I live my life trying to navigate, like the experience that you describe of this happiness and openness, or whatever you get by chocolate, but you can have it also just by being or something. For me, it became like a fight almost to try to find it, and I used to call it openness. And I tend to get afraid of losing it, and it can get really unnecessarily and complex on one end, And it gets worse when I have the sense that somebody is not getting me or something, or not really reaching me where I am. But it can also just very quickly be there in any moment.
So what you describe as openness, what is that for you?
It's a quality of, like, my heart is open, could be it, but that's just a description. But it's also being in contact or having a sense of, what is it? Yeah, something starts opening in the system, in my energy, in my, there's so many ways to describe it. Or my nervous system is calming down, or it and things start to communicate again. I don't know, that's just a it's like a, yeah, and then I get stuck.
Yeah. So that's the state of openness. It's like there's a relaxation in your nervous system. There's some sense of contact, connection, maybe.
Yeah, it's, I think when things become interesting or good, then I guess that's a state of openness.
Yeah.
Simply put. Yeah.
And the other side, how would you describe the other side that you don't like?
It's a stuckness, and I'm really afraid of, either I'm just flat, like there's no real feeling anymore. It's more like I just go through life and everything feels on the same level, and there's no real connection to what I'm doing. There's more disconnection.
It's a
Like
flatness.
being cut off. Yeah, being cut off is also a way to say it. Yeah.
It's a cut-offness, a flatness. Is it like a numbness also?
Can be, but not necessarily. There's many forms of it, I guess. Can also be emptiness, but that's not so much anymore. That used to be a fear. And fear, but my anxiety is also, it's like in my gut, something is contracting, let's say, and I'm holding back. Like it seems like I recognize, or this will go wrong. My intuition is saying this is going wrong, and then the situation will prove it. It is also getting entangled with my intuition and my mind, I would say. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. So have you been involved in like meditation and therapeutic practices and so on?
Yeah, plenty of it. I've done body work, meditation. I'm a physical actor. So I've done a huge lot of things, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a moment. Yeah. And still, yeah, well, still, it's not still. And there is deep anxiety, OCD, what I call OCD, but it's a recognition of dynamics for me, rather than a label that I put on myself. So just before this session, I was like in front of a pole in my house, and it's like, do I have to go left or right? And I was thinking, oh, if I go right here, it feels a bit more open. Oh, maybe left. And then I get stuck in this kind of anxiety of which one of the directions to choose. And then it makes no sense in my mind what I'm doing, but somehow it feels different, and I get stuck.
Yeah.
It becomes really important while there is no real meaning in what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. So if you just stop for a moment there, I understand the situation.
Yeah.
And just notice where you are in this moment, in yourself. What's your sensations?
Yeah, sadness. Something like frazzledness.
So there's a sense of sadness and you feel frazzled.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And if you allow yourself to have those feelings.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So just stay with it for a moment. Some sadness there, frazzledness, and it's okay. They can be there. What else is here?
Feeling of, like in my nose, something like an inflammation.
Like inflammation.
Inflammation feeling. My neck is a bit tight. My and I feel a form of anxiety, which is it's shifty anxiety.
So there's a tightness in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something else that I forget.
Anxiety also, like a shifty kind of anxiety. Yeah.
Like some kind of shifting energy. What kind of energy is that physically?
It seems to be condensed and distrust also, I guess. There's this feeling of distrust.
Okay, so there's some feeling of distrust.
Mm-hmm.
Is that located someplace in the body?
Try to locate but something on my heart, I guess.
Okay.
And but also in my mind and in my
yeah. Okay. There's something there in the heart and also in the mind, which has a sense of distrust in it. I noticed that just now you connected more with me.
Mm-hmm.
You were looking straight at me for a moment.
Yeah, still doing that.
So how is that?
Well, I notice. I think. Oh yeah, that's probably because I've got more space now to look at you.
Well,
something opening up.
If you don't think about it, but just sense this moment, looking at me. How do you feel in relation to me, just in this moment? How is it?
It's a mixture. I feel also, I don't know, something's pulsing back and forth.
Pulsing back and forth.
I notice I get needle pricks, and that's what it is. I have an interpretation, but if I stay with the feeling, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it's a feeling of needle pricks.
Yeah.
And if you tune into the space between us, how do you sense that space?
And there's a mixture of feelings. There's a lot of, like, there's part of anger, but it's not necessarily directed towards you. It's more like a despair and
there's some despair and anger, and you feel it's maybe not related to me, but it's there. What else do you feel in the space between us?
Something like a twirling motion.
Like a twirling motion.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe with me in this moment?
I'm not sure.
Or rather, how safe on a scale from 1 to 10 do you feel?
Okay. That's Wow. I don't know. There's part of it that's really open, and knowing that this is true because I experienced you before, and I noticed where I could be there. And there's also this anxiety, like this part of me that's really saying, like, yeah, right. But I know that this is going on now. I'm already stuck. You won't get me out of this. So,
yeah. So that's
and
a part. That's a part within you, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So a part within you is speaking like that. But if you take the whole,
Yeah. Well, if I give it a score, it will be either a 1 or a 9, or
so
something.
that part has
Yeah.
a 1. There's a skeptical part in you that doesn't trust people.
Yeah.
And doesn't trust this is gonna help in any way, right?
Well, it's more that I'm afraid of getting stuck. Yeah. There's this fear of getting stuck.
So try saying like this: there's a part in me which is afraid of getting stuck.
Yeah, there's a part of me of getting stuck.
Yeah. See, it's different to say that than to say I am.
Yeah, that's true.
You notice the difference?
Yeah, I know the difference as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it when you say it like that? There is a part in me which is afraid to get stuck.
Yeah, this part is saying, yeah, right. It's like it's still like fighting and holding on strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about trying to say to this part, I see you're afraid of getting stuck.
It's funny because I fall together with the part too much to not identify, but I don't necessarily want to identify. So then I try to tell it, but then it's like, yeah, but I tell it to myself. So
if you think of it as a part, as a sub-personality within.
Yeah. So if I tell it, no, I don't remember what you said. Sorry.
Basically, you show it that you understand where it's at by saying, so you're afraid to get stuck.
So you're afraid to get stuck.
And you're not trying to fix anything. You're just showing this part, you see it. Just like I show you that I see you. What happens then?
There's there's the shame surfaces, like I'm taking a lot of space in this group and I'll probably need to get out of this and I'll not be a good example.
Yes.
All of this, yeah.
Just notice that. That's the protector controller. That's another part that wants to protect you now because actually something's happening.
Wow.
Who's in charge of the timekeeping here?
I guess you are. Yeah.
I am, yeah. So you can leave that to me. Something's happening there.
Yeah, I'll get to my sadness.
Yeah, you seem more here.
Yeah, it's one where it's difficult to stay with sadness for me, but I just also want, and I also want it to be there.
So this sadness can also be seen as a part.
Mhm.
So just let that also be there. There's one part which has sadness.
Mm.
So you just honor that part as well. What's happening now?
Yeah, there's parts of me that I won't be able to talk about because it's too personal, which is okay. But there is a sense of loneliness that comes with these kind of topics that are really difficult in my life. I guess that's also coming up.
Yeah.
And this longing of being seen and heard there, I guess. Or
So take a moment to notice that I am here actually seeing you.
mm.
I am seeing you.
It's almost frightening.
Yeah. It's dangerous to get what we long for also.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I know
Not just to recognize
wow.
that actually I am seeing you. And also I want to say that loneliness is not an enemy.
Mm.
It's also a door. It's a difficult door, but it is a door.
Yeah, I'm not. Mm-hmm.
What's happening now?
I'm really, like, yeah, I don't know how to say this. I feel shame saying this somehow. But yeah, okay. I'm trying. I don't know. Yeah. Mm.
So there's an inner
Intensity. There's an intensity there, and there's a topic as well. And I don't know if I should name the topic or stay with myself, because if I go into topic, it might be my mind.
Well, you can name the headline of the topic so I get a sense.
Yeah, I do. Social change on a global level.
Okay.
And that's my topic in my life. Let's say my mission. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Wow.
Okay. So notice what you feel now. You named it. What's happening physically?
It's like a dense field, and it gets touched on, and there's like a whole movement around it. Yeah.
Like a dense field with a whole movement around it.
Yeah.
Is there something nice about this dense field?
It's more than nice or not nice. It's just something that longs to get space, I guess. So it's almost like an egg or something that contains a lot of things, and then
So
it wants to be seen till we open. Yeah.
okay, so stay with it for a moment.
Oof.
The sensation of it.
Mm. So there's I don't know, I'm confused. Yeah. Mm.
What's the direct experience, sensation-wise?
As if I'm half in my vertical space.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm half present. There's one part that's away, gone, but there's another part that's present.
Okay.
And they're constantly in interaction with each other. Yeah.
Okay. So one part is really here, present, and the other part is like moving away. And then there's some interaction between them.
And I'm kind of tense and dense on one end, and there's a part also that's relaxed and just present and open and listening.
Yeah. So if you include all of those experiences at the same time,
Yeah.
without trying to fix anything, you just include everything in the space that you are.
Okay.
How is that?
Huh. It's
What's your direct experience right now?
It's like a movement inside, like everything is shifting, and it's back and forth. It's turning. It's
There's a lot of movement. It's back and forth. It's turning.
Yeah.
Then there's an out breath.
Yeah.
Like a sigh.
Still the density around my eyes. And also still part of this anxiety of afraid of being there, which is in below first chakra, let's say. And the yeah.
So I don't know where the impulse came from, but I had this impulse to invite you to just do something like this.
Yeah.
With your
Yeah, I'm calling on my phone, so I have to do something technical to make that work. So I don't know if I can support it.
You can do it one hand at a time.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was just if it resonates with you.
That's part of it, yes.
An out breath came again. And if you do the other hand as well, so it's
there's like a pain that comes more to the surface as well.
Yeah. And then if you connect with me a little bit again, just sense our contact for a moment. How is that in this moment?
It's intense. A lot.
A lot happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see your your focus, I guess. That's a name for it. Yeah.
Chronic.
Yeah. I guess that's focus, but that's a.
You know, what I see in this conversation is that there are many threads. You know, in your inner experience, there are different threads happening. So I feel they all need to be given some space, you know. So this could continue for quite some time. It's not about reaching a certain end goal, but giving space for the different threads and staying with direct experience without trying to solve anything, really. More like letting those threads, and also seeing that there are different parts with different realities operating. And then as I invited you to be the space for all of it simultaneously. I think that's also a very helpful practice. What happens as I say that?
It's well, it's exactly that. It like what you describe is like there's a lot of things going on, and it's moving through me, and it's constantly shifting and doing things, and this giving space to it. I think, yes, I want to do that. And there's also the part that's still saying like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to handle that maybe, or that maybe, and that maybe.
Yeah. So how did you deal with that part in our conversation earlier?
Yeah, but I listen. I really listen to what you're saying.
Well, it's like you receive it.
Yeah.
You honor that it's there, and it's kind of.
Well, I think it's also correct to say that this could go on for a longer time. That feels correct, and it feels also like it's welcome. I don't know how to say this. Like it's really welcome to have this awareness or this movement.
Yeah.
Is present with all of it, and I'm hopeful, and it's still also new. It's like being in a new space. It's not comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know anymore. I don't have a relationship to it. A reference point.
Yeah. Something new there.
Yeah. And it feels right what you say in a way, like it when you build the way you build it up, and one after the other. It feels like, yeah, this is a way I can really encompass all of it in a way gradually.
Yeah. I think that's about as much as we can do today.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, for sure.
An ending here? Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for being present for me.
You want to hear some feedback from the others, how it was to you?
For sure. I'd be happy.
Okay. So, yes, so anybody would like to just say how it was to witness this exchange? What it gave you is always nice to hear. If it gave you something, that's nice to hear. You can just unmute yourself. And
I can say something. Can you hear me?
wait a moment, somebody's entering my apartment, which is a bit strange. I've never experienced that before. Who has the key to my apartment? It's most unusual. Okay. So Andreas, yes.
Yeah, I just feel like lots of resonation what you were sharing this during this so-called session, and touched by what I see and what I feel when I'm seeing this, and yeah, it comes some kind of empowering me, like seeing you in this process, and because I have been going through the same process you, and still doing the same thing with this threats and stuff what comes up in the meeting with people, and it's really touching me, and feel lots of connection to you and to the process what you're going through, and honoring you what you're actually going through right this during this session, and I feel really, yeah, I feel touched. That's what I say. That's what I say. And I get some kind of inspiration and reflection of my own being, so to say. So thank you for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas.
Can I reflect?
Yes.
I think it's, for me, very comforting to see when I think my mind is stuck in a certain way, there's always another way in, which I think you demonstrated beautifully in this session. So thank you for what you shared, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linnea. There's also some comments on the chat.
Can I reflect?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Eric and you, Kåre, and it gave me yes, that feeling of being stuck. I got in contact with my own feelings of being stuck. So it was very valuable for me to travel with you during your process. So I thank you so much, Eric, for doing this journey, and thank you for letting me be on board.
Thank you, Maria. So I see some comments here on the chat. I can relate to the war and confusion inside. Beautiful to hear you embrace it all. And another, thank you for allowing the complexity of your experience, touching and opening. Thank you for sharing and being here. Thank you so much, Eric, for showing yourself so openly. It gave me resonance, interest. It was touching and felt very real in ways I could relate to. Relatable and so useful to be a part of. Thank you. Really touching. Thank you. I could relate to that confusion for sometimes. Thank you for sharing your vulnerability. It gave me a sense of connection. Thank you for being transparent. I appreciate your courage to open up in front of us. It is inspiring. Interesting. Thank you, brother. Thank you for vulnerability. Very moving. Take care, brother. Okay, so yes.
Thanks.
So as I keep saying, when we go to the truth of our experience and share, it's always something universal. I find this very fascinating that our most intimate experiences are also the most universal. There is something universal. When we touch the deeper dynamics of our soul, of our psyche, of our being, we touch into something that is actually operating in all human beings because we are of the same design. We are designed in the same way. So, you know, there is a difference between being private and being personal. We can be personal without being private. I mean, we don't necessarily need to share private details about our life situation. We can be very personal and intimate without sharing private details. And then everybody can relate, or most people can relate, because we're so similar. But the similarity is also, the other side is it's also so unique. Although we're so similar, each person is like this unique expression of how the infinite intricacies of life, how it unfolds through each of us is unique. And yet, it's also similar. That's why the healing of one person can be the healing of all people. And that's why to be in my shoe, my chair as the coach is also, I benefit a lot from each session. I am also part of the journey inside myself. So I benefit. That's why I say I have the best job in the whole wide world. Because I recognize myself in every client. That's another dimension of inner richness. You know, inner richness as in yumminess, inner yumminess. Oh, yummy love and peace and fireworks and strength and grounding and connection and bliss. And so that's one dimension of inner richness. But there's another dimension of inner richness, which is the infinite intricacies of life moving. And if we take that perspective on inner richness, it's not so much about the yumminess. You know, if you love being a gardener, of course you love the flower, but you also love the mud and the dirt and the worms and the dirty earth. How can you be a great gardener if you don't love compost and rotting plants and smelly stuff? And it's all part of the same beauty. One of my teachers, Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, he always said, no mud, no lotus. So if we want to celebrate the flower, we also need to celebrate the mud. Life operates through polarities. If we want to celebrate peace, actually we need also to celebrate war. War and peace are like mud and flower. Sadness and joy, anger and love, fear and love. Life is operating through polarities. It's like we can't actually just have one side of the stick. You know, if you have a stick, this is another way Thich Nhat Hanh describes it. I don't have a stick here. It's a stick. I don't have a stick. If I have a stick, and I say, I just want to have the right side of the stick. So I'm going to cut, I'm going to cut the stick in the middle, so I just have the right side of the stick. Now you have a stick which is half as long. You just have the right side of the stick. But what do you have? Do you just have a right stick? No, you still have a stick with a left side and a right side. So, no, I just wanted the right side, so I'm going to cut it again. And again, you have a stick with left and the right side. I just want to have joy. I just want to have peace. I just want to have connection. Life doesn't work like that. If you want to have connection, celebrate this connection. Also, no mud, no lotus. That's an old famous Zen text. Xing Ming. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. The mind is, I say the mind is, the thinking mind is goal-oriented. Now this goal orientation is built on preferences. I prefer to have this, so I'm gonna go get it. And the preference means something I don't want also. So something I reject. Now there's nothing wrong about it. It's natural, but there is a dimension beyond all our preferences, you know, that can enjoy the preferences without being caught by them. I prefer sunny weather, but today it's raining and cold. Okay, so let's find a way to enjoy that then, since that's what's happening. I can still prefer 25 degrees and sun, but you know, the mind will rather complain than find a way to enjoy the rain. That's being stuck in preferences. When we're stuck in preferences, we become complainers instead of creators. Have you noticed? We have done 1.5 hours, so we're halfway through this journey. I want to invite you to donate a coffee to me if you are enjoying this show. It is a free webinar, but this time I decided to give you a chance to contribute if you want. You don't have to, but I'm trying this out for the first time. I just set up an account 5 minutes before we started. I'm not even sure if it works. I hope so. So there's a link, buymeacoffee.com. I put it on the chat, and you can donate a coffee. I love coffee. I drink coffee every day. So that could finance my coffee needs for the next 2 months. If you want, it's completely up to you. So we're gonna have a 10-minute break, and I invite you to really do something nourishing, maybe some movement, some breathing, toilet, some water, maybe a little coffee. And I'll see you in 10 minutes, which is about 14 minutes, 13 minutes to 11, and we'll continue. Okay? I'll keep the space open here. Okay, so we are ready for part 2 of this journey together, exploring inner richness through what I sometimes think of as existential dialogues. Dialogues about existence. So I've been teaching and sharing Zen coaching, which I developed over the last 15 years. And it's a method, and it's an understanding, and it's an approach inspired by Zen Buddhism, by nonviolent communication, by the diamond approach of A.H. Almaas, by family constellation principles and theory, by trauma healing, Peter Levine's somatic experiencing principles. It's inspired by various forms of Osho therapy, inner child work. It's also inspired by voice dialogue, Helen Cedra Stone, and subpersonality work. And of course, meditation. And the main approach here is meditation and inquiry. Inquiry means to explore the moment actively. And meditation means to receive the moment in its fullness, without judgment and without goal. So I think of meditation and inquiry as the two wings of the bird, or the yin and yang of inner journeys. Meditation is the yin, in a way. I mean, different ways to look at that, but being the receptive openness to the moment. I receive and include everything that shows up in the moment. So for me, meditation is a way of life. It is not an activity. Meditation is a way of approaching life itself. It is the way of really including, embracing, and being receptive. And the activities of meditation are just a focused version of that. And Thich Nhat Hanh, yeah, that's another important source of inspiration, is the Zen teachings, Buddhist teachings of Plum Village and Thich Nhat Hanh. Plus also philosophy, existentialist philosophy, phenomenology. So I've taken all these things and put them into a package that I call Zen coaching. And I teach this as a one-year training in Poland, Sweden, South Africa. And we are also building a community, a worldwide community of friends. The International Zen Coaching Network, which is now about 500 people who are doing many things, workshops, coaching, collaboration, inquiry work, meditation. We have different projects and gatherings. For instance, nowadays we're offering free coaching. 20 coaches from the Zen Coaching Network are offering free coaching as a special support during these coronavirus times. So anybody who wants can have free coaching, free Zen coaching available at any day, actually. All you need to do is to sign up. That's it. And you get a free coaching. And even free 5 sessions. I'm just reminding you of that amazing opportunity. It's probably not going to last forever, so something to make use of. I'll send you the link. Another project is happening in Cape Town, which is organized by Lisa Garson and Zen coaching volunteers. We are bringing the tools of Zen coaching into the townships of Cape Town, which is millions of people who are living in areas where there's high unemployment, high level of violence, often not so great schools. And now it's turned out that the people that we share Zen coaching with in those circumstances are completely loving it, helping people go from a victim stance to a possibility stance in life, even when conditions are very difficult. Nowadays, there is the lockdown where people have to stay home, and the small income they had access to has disappeared for many people. So instead of focusing on Zen coaching tools at the moment, we are actually handing out food. You know, it doesn't help to learn meditation if you're starving to death. So food first. Food first, meditation second. Yes, first things first. So now there's a food handout project, but of course it can be combined. While handing out food, you can ask some questions and listen also. So it's also a nice way to meet. So that's a project, Cape Town Food Support Project, run by Zen Coaching volunteers, and we welcome donations to that. 25 euros will feed 4 people for 2 weeks. How amazing is that? And the benefit is immediate and direct. 100% reaches the beneficiaries. Very safe way of making a contribution. So if you want to contribute to that, it's very welcome. I'll send you the link to that as well. And if you want to do something else than these Zoom meetings, I'm having a 5-day workshop at the end of July in Sweden at Ängsbacka. So it's called Relaxing into Being, the Zen way of coaching. And it's the first part of the Zen coaching training. So if you can make it to that, you are warmly welcome. That is a deep journey, very nourishing. So that was a little bit of information. Now let's get back to our topic. So take a moment and just sense yourself. Let's do a little 2-minute meditation together. Just stop for a moment and sense yourself. Just take a breath. Take maybe a deep breath and then let go. Close your eyes maybe. And just sense the moment. Notice sounds. Sense your breath. Feel the gravity, the weight of your body, sitting on a chair or on the ground. And then sense your physical body. What is your inner experience right now? What are the physical sensations? And then while continuing to sense your body, slowly open your eyes. See if you can stay in touch with your physical body with open eyes. It means only give 50% attention to what you see and reserve the rest 50% to your sensations. Okay? Try that. Look around the space you're in and give only 50% attention to what you see and retain 50% for your physical sensations. And notice what that does to your way of being in the world. I'm guessing it reduces your thinking. And increases your presence. Am I right or wrong? I'm right. This is a very simple practice which makes a world of a difference in your life, in our life. Maybe the most important practice of all practices. And we can do it any moment. We can do it for 5 seconds. We can do it for 5 minutes. We can do it anywhere, on the tram, on the bus, on the bike. Everywhere and anywhere we can do this little practice, secret practice that nobody knows we're doing. We don't have to sit in a special way or close our eyes. In fact, this is a practice for open eyes. How to be in the world with presence, in presence. Not lose ourselves into all the stuff. There's enough stuff going on everywhere. And if you read the news, even more. And it's so easy to lose our presence. But it's actually also very easy to return. And if we don't return, we are lost. And I feel we are living in a lost society. The whole world is lost a lot of the time. And what's the best we can do for the world, in my opinion, is this: to be in ourselves while we are in the world. This is the biggest contribution we can make. And then we're also available. You know, there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You may go to a cafe, sit down at a table, and on the table next to you sits a living Buddha, the next Buddha, and you don't notice. Jesus Christ may talk to you and you don't notice. How many disciples did Jesus have? 12. Nobody noticed. He was there. Nobody noticed Jesus was right next to him because the student wasn't ready. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the teacher may be something else than a person. The teacher may be a feeling of anger. When the student is ready, this feeling of anger becomes my teacher now. When the student is ready, the coronavirus becomes a great teacher. But if the student is not ready, it becomes maybe hell. Heaven or hell is up to us, actually. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "For me, heaven is not a place where there is no suffering. For me, heaven is a place where there is compassion." So, let's have some more dialogues. I have some requests. I do give priority to people who are new to Zen coaching in these meetings because this is an opportunity for that. So I choose that primarily, and then if there is space for others, we'll do others also. So Reda, you have a friend who would like to explore the problem of sleeplessness.
Yeah, he's next to me. Can you see him on the screen?
I see you now. So maybe
I move it.
Maybe you can move it so we focus on your friend there.
I'm just trying to get. There we go.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hello, Kåre.
What's
Hi.
your name?
Guy. Guy.
Guy.
Yes.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for this.
Yes. Are you enjoying?
It's really super, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in South Africa, huh?
I am in the sunshine. It's beautiful.
South Africa is almost like a second country for me. I've been traveling there for 22 years now.
Okay.
So I feel like a pull to go to South Africa when I speak.
You're always welcome. Yeah.
So you're having a sleeplessness issue.
Yeah, this is maybe for 25 years I've had sleep issues, and a lot of it is through physical pain but there is also emotional pain as well that has contributed to my sleeplessness over the years. And what I would like to explore is that even though I know that the pattern is wrong, you know, I will wake up several times a night, and the pattern of waking up and creating something to do as a diversion to trying to lie down and sleep with the pain is what has become the bad habit. So I could get up and make some tea or coffee and have a cigarette or two, and before I know it, there's an hour or two that have passed in the night. And so for me, it's about trying to understand how to change the there's like a comfort in the process because it's familiar for me. It may not be right for me, but it is something that I'm not, you know, I'm aware of meditation, and I've tried to use meditation and breathing small amounts. I've started to implement that into the process, but I've also used a lot of drugs, prescription drugs and painkillers and anti-inflammatories, and also illegal drugs, marijuana and all sorts of things to cope with the pain. And it's been my crutch. Let me put it to you that way. All of those things have been the crutch for me for all of these years. So I've now been about 2 weeks without the use of the illegal drug side of things, and you know, under the lockdown process, it's been difficult to get these things anyway. So I've basically gone cold turkey in some aspects with regard to how to, you know, removing those things from my daily life. And yet, so when I still wake up numerous times during the night, and the need to have that familiar, the comfort of what has become a familiar process to me is what I need, what I'd really like to change and shift and get out of that. So, you know, I'm fully aware and understand that it has just been a coping mechanism for me without really, you know, all of this is really new to me. I've had a deep understanding that there is another means available to me, but never really exploring it or having the courage to explore these other processes and means of diverting my focus on getting back into those familiar tools that my toolbox. So you know, I still live with the pain constantly. I'm sitting here now. Yeah.
Tell me, what kind of pain is it?
It's spine damage. I've got a lot of nerve damage. I've had 2 neck operations. I've had a fusion and a disc replacement, and I have, you know, wedge fracture at L1 and compression fractures at my base of my spine, and I've broken legs and arms and so many parts of my body over the years.
You've lived a dangerous life, it sounds.
I've lived. You know, I've always been an outdoor person. I love the outdoors and nature, and I grew up on the coast, so the ocean is a big part of my life. And but yes, to put you in the picture, it's a lot of spinal nerve damage, and so and medical attention for me at this point of my life is not an option. That's why I've posed this question of how do I break this habit, this cycle, without there being medical intervention, really, because it's if I could say, I've lost a year's worth of actual sleep if I add up all the time that I've lost over the years, you know, and it's not something you can get back, and it's just all relative to where I'm at now. But I am not functioning at my peak levels most of the time by any stretch of the imagination. It's really I've had to dig deep to maintain you know, awareness of the situation around me and other people's needs, and creating a compassionate space for people. Very often I've been very good at that, and I've been able to counsel many people during my lifetime, and yet I think not having a sense of being well rested on a daily basis is really taxing on my whole nervous system and my ability to function at, you know, at peak levels. And
so stop there for a moment and just sense yourself. You shared your story and your challenges, and just take a moment and feel yourself now. I hear it's very challenging. You have a lot of pain. It's hard to function. You're constantly sleep deprived. It's hard to be at your peak and also to hold space for other people's needs. And you really want to learn how to manage this in a better way than the coping mechanisms you have been using. So you're open for something new. So all of that you've shared, now just sense how you feel right now.
I'm really vibrating, actually. My whole body is really
Okay.
almost shaking. Yeah.
So if you give some space for that vibration, let that vibration be there and just sense it for a moment. What's happening now?
It's still there. I don't feel like I have any other way to describe or I feel it very alive with that vibration.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay. And is it okay to allow it for now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? It's okay. All right. And then can I invite you for something else?
Sure.
Just sense infinite space for a moment.
I beg your pardon?
Just sense infinite space for a moment. That the body is located within infinite space. And just include infinite space. Also. So you have both, the vibrating body and you have infinite space. Let both be there. Notice how that is.
As soon as you said that, it brought about an almost immediate calmness, and it felt like there was not so much energy required to stay in touch with that.
Right.
With that.
So continue with that for a moment. Just give that some time. Infinite space, vibrating body, and just see what happens. Just give that some space and time. There was an immediate shift in how it was to be with the body. Just notice how it is to stay there for a bit with both of those.
In a way, it feels like my body is in a way dismembered and floating individually of itself, so it's not a tight unit.
Right. More like a field.
Yeah.
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 So maybe close your eyes and sense the body as this field, not limited to the shape of the body. So the body sounds like it's more like an energy field now. Is it? It's bigger than the physical body. Yeah? So stay with that for a bit and sense that. while still including infinite space. What's happening now?
In a way, it feels like the pain, the energy associated with the pain is shared by the universal energy, if I can put it like that, where it's not all mine to carry.
Right.
Really, that's how it feels. Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Mm.
I have another curiosity. If you look at me from that place, how is it to connect with another when you are in this state?
It feels
now.
a lot easier. It feels a lot easier to connect if I'm not focused on that pain energy and with it being dissipated through the shared, shared.
So feel the connection with me now for a moment when you are in that space. It's easier. You're here with me and you're not so caught up with this pain. You have support in holding the pain actually from universal energy or space. And then you can also be here in the meeting also without effort, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I want to invite another thing. Is that okay?
Sure.
Look at some of your midnight coping mechanisms and include them into your heart as something that has helped you before. How is that?
Made me feel a little bit sad that I'd allowed myself to be angry or focused on those coping mechanisms as being a bad thing rather than just part of what has been my coping mechanism.
Right. So there's a more sounds like more compassion coming here. Self-compassion. It has helped you. Now you're ready for something else. How do you feel now?
Like I can't wait to go to bed tonight and try something else.
Yeah.
And yeah. Or even if I have no doubts in my mind that there won't be an immediate shift from those coping mechanisms to what is more compassionate for myself. But with this being a starting point, I'm very excited to allow both processes to be part of the transition until it changes completely.
Sounds like a compassionate, realistic approach.
How can it be so simple after 25 years? Craziness.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears. That's what I said.
The self-compassionate aspects of my life has been missing for a long time.
Yeah,
a very long time.
And now it's here.
And now it's here, and yeah. I recently reached a point of absolute shutdown and meltdown with regard who I am and the role that I play in this life for myself and my loved ones and family. And all of this is a very big shift for me, and one that I'm really want for myself and for all my loved ones and those around me who've been impacted by my lack of self-compassion for so very long.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have this awakening and awareness, and I've been desiring this change for so long, and yeah, I'm really grateful.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. I'm sure this is benefiting others as well.
So thank you, Kåre. Thank you. Do
you want to hear how it was for the others?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you, Kåre.
So, what did you get out of this exchange? Anybody would like to share a little bit? You can unmute yourself.
I found it very, very moving. When you found that compassion, I found it also in me. So thank you.
Thank you, Yannick.
I was deeply touched to be allowed to be part of that journey. And I was especially moved by the part of inviting old habits with gratitude rather than rejecting them. That resonated a lot within me. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Josephine.
I was also very touched that Guy shared with us his pain. I think the pain, physical and emotional pain, are the tough teachers. Those are really tough teachers in our life. And for me, this reminder of you of this infinite space where we are, and then this power which came, the support which came from the universe, it was very, very good reminder, and thank you for that. I'm also feeling this space now. Thank you.
Thank you, Margosha.
Yeah. It really expands my experience, knowing that other people can learn from it, as I have learned through sitting through the previous hour and a half of this experience and learning through others. So I'm grateful for that too, that other people can be touched by my experience. So thank you.
Thank you, Guy.
Sure.
So let's see, there were some comments on the chat. I want to read those as well. Fantastic, beautiful and touching, very direct connection, sincere and moving, woke up compassion in my heart. very moving, relief and allowing compassion, inspired by your openness and readiness to change. I got in contact with such ease, thank you. Touch to the bones. Love heals all, wonderful, thank you. So touching self-compassion, honoring it all. Thank you so much. I am longing for the same thing. The power of self-compassion, beautiful. Self-compassion and honoring yourself really resonated with me. Thank you. This is in Swedish, I'll translate. Humbleness and fantastic to see your body language change when you reached insight and understanding for what is and what can be changed. Love to see your smile after this insight of self-compassion. Beautiful, we are always held. Create and learning together as a Sangha community. Living with a physical pain is one of my biggest challenges in life. I could sense the depth of this experience and send you lots of supporting love. I feel very touched, so much compassion and love alive in me also right now. Okay, so much yumminess. Yes, so even though many of us, we don't have this degree of physical challenge, still we can all resonate with the principles. That is what I spoke about. Although our particulars can be very different, the human experience is very common. Maybe our teacher is not physical pain, maybe our teacher is depression or anxiety, or loneliness, or separation, or conflict, or lack of energy, or... But the principles are the same. As many of you know already from having met Zen coaching before, but also for those of you who are new, the principle, the basic principle is to shift from rejection to including, from rejection to inclusion. Another way to say it is to shift from no to yes. Healing happens through a yes. Insight happens through a yes. Presence happens through a yes. In fact, the thinking mind, the personality structure is built on rejection. It's built on a no. And the heart, the being, is built on a yes. Life is yes. So when we shift from no to yes, we shift from personality structures to heart and being. And the role of me as a coach is to find a doorway to the yes. Because we can't make a yes happen. A yes is more like an understanding that comes from awareness. You can't force a yes. So all you can do is explore your no. By exploring your no with curiosity, the yes will appear. This is the principle. We cannot make a yes happen. We don't try to say yes. Trying to say yes is built on a no. So that doesn't work. The yes is more like a discovery than something we create. The yes is hiding. And the role of the coach is to somehow help the client find it. It's there, but it's hiding. And how can the coach support that? By being in a yes. The coach needs to be in a yes. That is why you can only be coaching in the Zen way if you have a practice of meditation as your way of living. Meditation has to be your first priority in life if you want to coach in the Zen way. And by meditation, I mean to live in this receptive attitude, curious receptive attitude. It means me as a coach, I have no idea what's going to happen. When I meet a guy here with 25 years of intense physical pain and sleeplessness, I'm like humbled. And it's like, what do I know about that problem? That's way beyond anything I've experienced. I don't know. So my mind goes like, Kåre, well, how can you help? But I don't listen to that voice because I know I don't need to help. I'm not here to help. I'm here to meet. I'm here just to show up and see what happens. I'm here to explore the moment with another human being. And that's the beauty. I'm in a yes to the moment. I don't have to know how to help. In fact, I have to be in not knowing. Only by allowing not knowing can I be of any kind of help. I call this helping through non-helping. By not trying to help, I can be helpful. When I try to help, I lose my helpfulness. And mostly in life, we try to help. And it's mostly never helpful. Everybody is running around trying to help other people and in the process not helping anybody. If people could stop trying to help so much, they could start being really helpful to each other. This is wisdom. This is not a technique. This is wisdom. It takes meditation. It's not, I'm not doing a technique. Zen coaching is not a technique. It's a way of being. In fact, Zen coaching doesn't even exist. Because it doesn't exist, it works really well. Okay, that was a bit of a Zen style. I would like to receive some questions now about the role of the coach or the process of this style of coaching, or any questions you have about what you've witnessed. So you can just unmute yourself and I can answer any questions or try to answer any questions that you have. And they don't have to be deep and profound.
Hi, Kåre.
Yes, Ridwana?
Yes, hi. I'm very, very new to this. This is my the first time that I've come online, but there's a Zen coaching student, Tara, who's a very good friend of mine, and she's introduced me to it.
I could hear a South African accent there.
Say again?
I could hear a South African accent there.
Yeah, our very diverse rainbow accent. So my question is that I already have other coaching modalities that I work with, and one specifically is relationships. is with couples. Can Zen coaching be used in relationship coaching
Absolutely.
with couples, or is it just a one-on-one?
No, you can use it in couples. In fact, I had a couples coaching yesterday. No, it can be used, actually it can be used in for any topic, in any modality. It is not specific to the issue. It's a general approach. So there is no limitation. It's very open, and you can combine it with other skills and techniques you have. It's more like a platform. So
Okay.
it's never in conflict really with other techniques, because it's not really a technique. It's more like an
Right.
attitude. So
Right.
definitely it's very, very, very helpful in couples coaching.
Okay, great. And if I wanted to be, do you have an online coaching program starting for somebody like me, like right from the first module? Is that in your plans?
No, we don't have a full training. We have only like shorter things available online. I might do some more longer ones online now after. In fact, next week I'll do the first 5-day online training I've done so far. So that will be an experiment. So I might offer some longer online events, but also you're in South Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we have a training in South Africa. So
okay.
we will probably have another training in South Africa again. So you could also join live in South Africa. But there are different options to learn online in shorter workshops and webinars like this. And so I think you can get a lot out of engaging with Zen coaching online, even without doing a full training, especially since you're already working in this field. So you could start like that.
Perfect, thank you.
And yes, I haven't spoken about that. I have developed a online training actually, which is for sale, which is not exactly Zen coaching training, but it is the same principles. And it's a 40-day in-depth program. So I would really recommend trying that. It's called True Prosperity, From Lack to Abundance. So this is online training with videos and exercises and guided journeys. So it's a deep journey where you learn the teachings I've been sharing here, you will learn them. Even though it's not a coach training as such, you will learn a lot of principles that will help.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Any other questions about what you've seen today, about my role as a coach, or about Zen coaching as such, or the Zen coaching community?
Hey, Kåre, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, my friend. Love the shirt, by the way. But the question is, what did you, or what was going on for you, if you can expand again about the moment of coaching when you went from maybe a desire to fix to, or to this voice in your head, and then you went perhaps at that moment, if I guess correctly, into the expansion and the addition of the space?
Yeah. I see you're floating above Golden Gate Bridge there. I think that's cheating a little bit, but it's okay. Yes. You know, I've listened to this fixing mind for quite some time now, so it's not a very strong voice. I just noticed that, you know, before it 10, 15 years ago, it would be strong, like, oh my God, I would really have to coach myself. Like, I would simply do the self-coaching on that while I was meeting the other person to return to my heart and relax into being. So it would be basically, I do the same that I do with others, I would do with myself. Can I notice it? Can I allow it? What's happening in my body now? Now the voice is not so strong. It's just like an old friend saying hello, and I say, yeah. It's more like I say, hello, there you are. It's okay. We'll be fine. You can relax. Don't worry. I include it. I'm friendly with it. And then it's like an old habit that wants to be in control. I say, it's okay. You can relax, we'll be fine. And then I just relax into the moment and I enjoy myself and I see what happens next. Something like that.
So it sounds
basically it's a practice of learning to enjoy the moment, without any goal. I have to enjoy just being here with the other person.
So may I ask a follow-up question to that?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I hear that you talk about using a tool in the 10 or 15 year ago period where you would stop, notice, allow, feel it, and go on this loop. And now you're more practiced, that you naturally go into the end result almost straight away.
Yeah, it happens more automatically, yeah.
So which would you recommend for from a student point of view?
Practice as a practice. In the beginning, we need to practice it as a tool in a way, or as steps. I mean, you're familiar with this, so stop, notice, allow, fully experience, and include space. I haven't talked about it today, so it's good to mention it. That's the basic tool, and I learn it, I carry it in my hand, and the beginning means for a few years, I just remind myself, I look at my fingers, stop, notice, allow, fully experience, include space. And then it becomes automatically more and more automatic. I mean, the simple version, of course, is simply to stop, take a breath, notice my sensations, and then I'm back. In breath, out breath, stop, notice, here I am. That's what I feel, and there you are, okay. And then, as you know, my favorite question, what's happening right now? This is my go-to place. What's happening right now in me, in you? So can I ask you a question? What's happening in you right now?
Yeah, I have a thought to notice the slightly sweaty palms. And then I noticed that, and then the rest of my body felt like saying, ooh, I want to join in with being noticed as well. Or at least I had a feeling. Sometimes I get a little fizz through my skin, particularly the hairs on my arms might sort of start communicating in a way, not in a fearful way that like, oh, my hairs are standing on end, but sort of a...
What's it now? You had the sweaty hands, and then what's the rest of the body feeling like now?
Pretty heavy.
In a comfortable way? Like grounded heavy?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I feel I'm slumped over a little bit, but maybe that's because I'm adjusting the vision of the iPad so you can see me, but...
What's your sensation? Heavy and...
The sensation is I'm going to take the jacket off. so that the sweaty palms don't extend to sweaty armpits.
Okay. So basically some warmth coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're feeling warm.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's warm here in San Francisco.
It must be, yeah. Yeah, see. So as a coach, I remind myself, or now it happens automatically, but before I used to remind myself, focus on what's happening right now, using the question, what's happening right now, directed either at me or at the other. That just takes us back to where it's happening, you know, and the physical sensations of the body are the quickest and simplest way to really enter this moment. Sweaty palms, heaviness. And from there, there's inspiration to use other insights like I did with Guy, but that just happens intuitively. It's not from a fixing. It may look like I'm using a lot of techniques and tricks and fixing, but from inside myself, it's more like, oh, I wonder what happens if we include space, infinite space here. It's more from that, not from a fixing modality. And that's how it works, actually. And that's a bit tricky. That's a tricky thing, you know. It's like I'm not using tools from the mind, I'm using them more, they just come to me more intuitively. I think that's the difference. All right.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Mike. So somebody wanted me to repeat the 5 things. You'll see, if you observe the way I meet people, you'll see that these 5 steps are always operating. Stop. Meditation begins with stopping. Stop. You got to stop, because the mind is, as I said, restless, monkey mind, goal-oriented, doing, and speedy. If you don't stop, there will be no meditation and presence. So the first step is always stop. It doesn't mean you have to physically stop. You can still be walking down the street, but stop this mental focus. Stop. And after you have stopped, you enter noticing space. Notice. Notice is different than thinking. To notice, you have to be in presence. So after stopping, you can notice, and you can even notice thinking. So actually, the moment you notice, you are semi-enlightened. You're awakened. It's an awakening. If you can notice, you are waking up. Noticing is awakening. Awakening to the moment. Awakening to my noticing space. Noticing is consciousness. So that's a moment of enlightenment, actually. Then, don't just notice. Allow what you notice. It is a deeper aspect of noticing, is to allow and include. I call it allow. You can also call it include. Stop, notice, allow. But we have 2 more fingers. Fully experience. A trap in meditation is to stay in noticing and not fully experience. So you want to dive into the swimming pool of experience. Fully experience your experience. Now, a trap of fully experiencing our experience is to forget space. We get so caught up with the experience that we forget all about space. So that's why we have include space. And that is why I invited Guy. Actually, we began here because Guy was already doing the other 4 automatically. So we started here because the other things were happening already. You don't need to do what's already happening. You need to include what you're missing. What was missing was this, include space. That's why I invited that, and that changed everything. And then it's not finished. It's not like linear and then you finish and then you die. Then it begins here again. Life is this cyclone. There's always a new moment, so there you need to stop again. The mind is always activated again, so you have to stop again and again and again, and until it becomes a way of living. If you want to remember it, you can use the first 3. Stop, notice, allow. Stop, notice, allow. Stop, notice, allow. That will take you a long way. And you will more easily remember the last 2. Stop, notice, allow. So we're coming towards an end. We have another offering in the Zen Coaching Network that I haven't mentioned, which is also very beautiful. So we have the free coaching, as I mentioned, but every Tuesday we have public deep listening meetings, 3 hours of deep listening, also called sharing circles online. This is also for free and hosted by people trained in Zen coaching, and anybody can join. And you're divided into smaller groups. There's like a big group, and then you're divided into smaller groups and have a sharing, and then you meet again in the big space. So that's also a beautiful opportunity every Tuesday evening. I'll send you this information by email. It would be nice to hear from one of you or 2 of you. How has these 3 hours been for you? Maybe somebody who hasn't spoken yet. How was it to be here this morning?
I can say something.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful for this time. I feel like when I'm working in this way, in this field with like-minded people, the experience of presence is expanded. And it also has been very supportive in what I'm trying to learn with the coaching and put into practice. And I feel like practice is the operating word there, because I think with everything, it takes time and practice. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to witness someone who has practiced for many years. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Good to see you, Lisa.
Good to see you too.
I also want to again offer you the opportunity to donate a cup of coffee. It's I'll post it again here. If you want to donate a coffee and keep my addiction flowing, you can click buymeacoffee.com here on the chat. I also see some comments. I have also found children of all ages resonates with this approach. Absolutely. Children are living naturally in this way. We have to be educated out of living like this. We don't have to be educated into living like this. This is my view. Children are naturally living like this. They're just trying to fit into the world of the adults. And so they lose it. So adults who speak this language, children are completely on board immediately. Anybody else? One more voice. How was it to be here? You can also write on the chat if you want.
I can speak?
Yes, Reda.
Hi, Kåre.
Hi there.
And everybody else. Thank you so much. I really resonated with a lot that came up today. It's nice to be reminded of the different parts of ourselves that we can allow, but it's not that the pain is not the whole self, so that there are other aspects that are like resourced and can help us pull through. Yeah, I've had a particularly challenging week, so that was a really nice reminder. And then also to observe, I think, Eric, and kind of realizing for me, the more I'm paying attention, the more strands are coming up and the more things are really showing themselves. And to be grateful and accepting of these things that are coming up. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
for sharing. Thank you. So I have some more comments from the chat. I will share the coffee link in the follow-up email too, if you'd like to donate a coffee later. I'm so happy to be part of the Zen Coaching family. Thank you, Kåre, for great teaching. I'm very grateful. I breathe more peacefully and more deeply now. A heartful big thank you to all for my experience this day. So much gratitude. Thank you, Kåre. As a newbie, very inspiring. It has been supportive on a day that feels impossible. Thank you all. Brought me back for a moment from distant wanderings. Thanks all. I tried to donate a coffee, but the site required me to sign up for PayPal. Is there another way? Yeah, PayPal is a bit strange. You don't need to sign up for PayPal to use PayPal, but I'm not super friendly with PayPal, but it should be possible to pay through PayPal without signing up. You just have to click in the right place. I can't explain it exactly right now. I have enjoyed noticing the 5-step method in action. I have also enjoyed taking part in the online course. Oh yes, online course from Lack to Abundance, and recommend it. Great. I want people really to experience that course. I think it's fantastic. Super grateful. Self-remembrance, thank you. When will the module 3 be arranged this year is a question. Will it happen this month in Poland? I am doing it in Poland next week online. That's the... Are you on the list for Poland? If not, strange, yes. Anyway, it's happening in Poland next week, level 3, step 3. Lovely to be in a space where actual being is in focus. I realize I've been longing for that. I loved and found true for myself your allegory of how external beauty can help us to connect with the essence inside. I can't buy you a coffee in PayPal. It won't work for me. I tried sometimes. We'll try again. It's funny because I have received many coffees already today, so it is working. Thank you for these webinars. It is unbelievable that the online connection can be so powerful and bringing the connection. Okay. So I invite all of you to unmute yourself and we can say goodbye by voice.
Bye.
Hello.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Hannah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you to Hannah for holding.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hannah.
Bye. Thank you.